Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning. My name is David Grondin. I'm a president and CEO of TomaGold. Sorry. So TomaGold is a diversified exploration company based out of Quebec. We work mostly in the Chibougamau mining camp and in James Bay. We found the company back in 2012 through a discovery on Monster Lake that was sold back in 2020 to IAMGOLD. And since then, we have continued to diversify into the gold and base metal project. And recently, in the last fall, we picked up some rare earth deposit in James Bay, and also lithium also in James Bay, where basically everybody's working, Patriot, Corvette, and Winsome, basically. So my background is banking. I was an investment banker analyst for over 10 years before. After that, I went into the exploration company. Most of the board also have a lot of experience either in exploration and or financial industry. We have an advisory board well diversified with a lot of experience. I'm going to talk about that. We have about $2.5 million in the bank account right now through cash and securities. I'll move to the next one, sorry. So I was mentioning about the management. So like as I said, my background is finance. I've been in the industry for 20 years. Following the sale of the asset from to IAMGOLD in 2020, all the board advisory was changed. Also the technical team, we were looking to revamp the spirit of the company. So it was quite important. So if you look at the slide, I don't have the full bio, but I refer you to the website. But basically, some of you might know Victor in the advisory, or Claude or George, which are kind of a mining legend in Quebec and Ontario. They have 40 years old, 45 years old of experience. Robin Phineas also is a scientist from Manitoba, Alberta. On the board, you have Michel and Jean-Sébastien that are based in Hong Kong. 35% of our shareholders are based in Hong Kong and Singapore due to numerous roadshows we did in the past. And they are kind of representing also the shareholder that we have there on the board. As I said, we're diversified. First project is Obalski, past producer back. It's been there for about 100 years. We have 78,000 meters of historical drilling, which is quite a lot. When you start working on project, usually you do it through the normal phase of prospection, geophysics. Then after that, you go drilling. When we picked up the project back in 2016, what we dragged us to the project was the humongous amount of work that was done before. So tapping all that work that was done, you're talking geophysics, all to the core. And I forgot to mention there's a shaft. Of course, now it's underwater, but 2 levels of underground working, 2 declines. So a lot of people went on that project, but at some point failed, keep developing it. We use our, the different approach of philosophy. And when we start working on Obalski, it's a bit like Monster Lake. We've sat down again and we reworked all the data, and we came back with something that was more consistent. Now, this is the recent drilling that we've done back in the end of 2022 and before that. As you can see, it's a large envelope of lower grade, 0.5 to about a gram ton from 20 to 80 meters. You have some high grade chute, which are comprised mostly of quartz that will get you basically the high grade into that. So Obalski, is on a, we were able to reposition in a really nice way, and we're still working actively at it. Doing all the work, and like I said, we decided to update all the geophysics. We've discovered numerous new zones. I need to go a little bit faster, so I'm going to expedite this. So basically, when we did the geophysics with the IP at the end of 2021, going into 2022, if you look on the, I don't have a pointer, on your left side image, there's this black line, the corridor. That's basically where all the underground working are. You have a small blip of pink, which basically is what was known. Then the figure on the middle, if you look on the small pink blimp, that was basically all the work was. And the south one was the new discovery. And after that, of course, 100 meters deeper is something completely new. It was suspected for many years, but we've never thought it would be there. So when we saw that, of course, we did some exploration. We're waiting for the result right now. But when we've drilled last year, due to what we were observing in the core, we were suspecting maybe something else was going on. So we decided to do an IP3D, basically infinitem, and that was just released 2 weeks ago. And we've basically able to affirm and confirm there's a new mineralized zone at depth of about 100 meters that it's cut by a fault. If you look at all the historical work on Obalski, there was always a lot of doubt about the suspected fault that was caught by the underground working back in the 60s and 80s. But now we have a clear definition. So that could explain on the map a little bit of the remobilization that you see this way along the fault. Sorry, I don't have the pointer. So that could explain it. So we have already submitted a permit to drill. We're waiting for the authorization early April. So we're going to start with 1,500 to test the fault and some of the deeper target. And upon observation live on the core, we'll decide if we push it to 5,000 and on and on and on. We have asked for 6 setup for drilling. So if we have what we think we will have, then we will be able to increase right away. That was for Obalski. Star Lake, Rare Earths. It's important to be positioned right now in rare earths and lithium. Historically, even my past experience, we were never a commodity flipper. We were not following like what was the flavor of the day. But in this context today, it's different. Like most governments around the world are pushing for green initiative, EV material, locally sourced. They want to break from, disputable geopolitician, whatever. Like the context is much different than before. So people want to source locally and develop their project locally. So in James Bay, which is really hot right now, mostly due to the Australian moving in and the American and everybody, most of the James Bay for the favorable pegmatite has been staked. So Star Lake is a project that I was aware of about 15 years ago. It was left there forgotten, I could say. It's the best. There's no better word for that. So we picked up Star Lake. You have 5 dike of pegmatite. Okay, this is early stage, but it was worked back in 2008. In 2008, I was the operator on this. Can you believe this? So when I was taking my lithium claim, I realized, oh my God, there's so many claims that I've looked in this in my life. I'm like, I know that area very well, very well. I walked these claims. I walked these pegmatite dike. So I went on the CGM, which is basically the GIS of the government of Quebec. And everything was there, but it was not updated. I'm like, is it that lucky? One time, it's really a good luck. And everything was there. So 5 dike of pegmatite, favorable zirconium, rare earths showing. So we staked back everything. We were able to conduct 1 day, not 2, not 1.25, 1 day full flown in and out of our prospection just before the snow. This is the ground. So as you can see, it's really easy to access. Stripping, you just go, it's rock all across the board. And we were able to get a 3.953 oxide. So this was great for 1 day of prospection, just to reconfirm, rework the pegmatite dike. That was the mandate of the team. Just please reconfirm me that day we were not sick and we saw pegmatite, then when there was not, there was some. So it's confirmed. So we have commissioned 2 weeks of work on the project, and they will start as soon as the snow melt, because it's James Bay, so it's not like Montreal. So it's going to start maybe early June. So as soon as we have access, we go 2 weeks prospection. And hopefully, if we can get the grades back really quick, we will be able to push it to a last round, in September. And I have 1 minute. I will refer you to websites. This is some of the grade that we had. Lithium, really simple. It's grassroots, but it's right in the middle of traffic of everybody. So when we decide to expose ourselves to lithium, because it was important, we stay what was left open, because right now, even in that map is even outdated. There's no claim left. That map, there's no claim left. You cannot get anything in there. So there's a lot more color right now. Everybody took everything. So we stake the lithium. We're going to do 1-2 week of prospection. It's just pegmatite, type 2 vieux comptoir, the Favre, it's just a good geology. But we're right in the middle of it, so we're going to go and it's project generation. Our next step, we're waiting for drill result for last year, like I told you. We're waiting for mineralogy and metallurgy. We're going to initiate a 1,500 drilling campaign. Star Lake lithium, Star Lake rare earth, lithium, brisk. We're waiting for spring to come to start working. And of course, we're still looking at other potential target. 55% is owned by institution, including IAMGOLD at about 15.5%, plus the rest in Asia that own 35-36%. You have a few of the Quebec institution based also. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you very much for your time and attention.